Здравствуйте, меня зовут Richard Gong. Приятно познакомиться. Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gong of Walk to Live podcast version, and this time I'd like to talk about marriage. So I created this episode for people who have plans of marriages, or so which is why I'd like you to realize that I'd like you to listen to this episode before marriages. So if you are still singles, so as title says, this time the title is woman is женщина in Russian, and жена is wife or married woman. Married woman is жена, and женщина is just woman in Russian language, which is what the title says. So this time I'd like to talk about the difference between the era or the period before marriage and after marriage. So in the ancient time, only the oldest boys have succeeded their own families and their wealth, which means married people are a kind of chosen people. For example, in the ancient time, sexual intercourses and marriages are a kind of different. So what I'd like to tell you is that people are promiscuous, or people behave flirtingly, which is what they're programmed to do as an instinct or as instincts, because logically or reasonably thinking, behaving promiscuously is really effective or really efficient in increasing the number of their own kinds, which means if you're a man, it's fine to have many sexes with many women, so that you can make a lot of loves and you can make a lot of children. So considering which, and after the pregnancies, women tend to come to hate their own husbands, which is really rational, or which is really logical as creatures, because what is, maybe some of you have heard that what is necessary for the kind or for the species is a diversity, or genetic diversity is necessary for survivals of the kind, or of the species. For example, so maybe you are human, and I don't know whether you are a white person, or whether you are a black person, or whether you are Asian person, or whether I don't know whether I don't know whether you are other colored people or not, or colored person or not, but actually, when it comes to thinking about the survival of your descendants, those descendants have to be diversified in terms of their own genes. Actually, so which means if you're a man, it's fine if even if you are a woman, but if you're a man, what is efficient as a creature is to have many sexes with many women, which is how you can make a lot of children, and which is how so your descendants come to have diversified genes, which means if you have many, for example, if you have, for example, 10 descendants or 10 children, and whose mothers are different each others, so which means in each case, half of their genes come from yourself, but and the other halves are from each different women, each different woman, which means for example, if you label your 10 children in this hypothetical situation from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, so A A has the gene of the mother of A has is different from the gene of the mother of children B, like which those children have different pair or different sets of mother's genes, like which constant in terms of the survival of the race, or as the race, or as the species, or as a kind of human. So acting promiscuously or acting flirtingly is really efficient, and is really effective for survival, as humans, like which this is, of course, this is the case to women. Maybe you can understand the feeling if you are married women, and if you have children. After your pregnancies, maybe you would come to, maybe you have come to hate, or you had come to hate your own husbands, because maybe you have got or you got irritated, because maybe as an effect, or as a fallout, or as an outcome of pregnancies, for example. So that is because creatures want creatures want diversified sets of genes, which is why if you got some if you got a child having husband A, for example, you come to want another other children having different sets of genes coming from other men, different from your present husband, like which people. So like which, or in which manner creatures including humans have flourished. So concerning which so the diversified genes are necessary for survival of your descendants. But what I'd like to tell you is that marriage is different from this promiscuous patterns of behaviors, because if you marry, of course you can have sex with, your own wives, or if you are women, you can have sex with your own husbands after marriage. But you have to take responsibilities for taking care of your own children, and you have to manage things related to your own family. So which means family a family is a society. Family is a human society, which means if you become a husband and a wife, if you become a husband and wife, so you have to protect your own society, including your own children. So which is what you have to face, which is the factor you have to face, and which is the reality you have to face after the marriages. So of course you can act promiscuously. Of course, if you are singles, maybe you may be acting promiscuously or flirtingly. Now you may be doing such a behaviors now, but actually after the marriages you can't act flirtingly or promiscuously, because you have to protect your own societies, which means after the marriages you have to protect your own families, which is why promiscuous actions or flirting behaviors are prohibited, or you know such behaviors or such actions are not wanted by your spouses. So considering which so you should think that like marriages and having sexes are different each other, maybe, which is what you should think. So like which so I introduced how to say woman and wife each other. So woman is женщина in Russian language, and married woman is China in Russian language, and while China is China, correct pronunciation may be China, which means wife. So in Russian language, yeah. So married man is much, but man is muchchina. Muchchina is man, and much is a married man, which means husband, which is what I'd like you to know. So marriage is another stuff different from having sexes, which is what I'd like you to understand. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Paka paka. See you.